Hello, fellow friends. Welcome on the Blue Gem Tarot YouTube channel. My name is Michael and I have a reading for you today. So, in today's pick a card, I thought I would address this topic. It's called How to Find Harmony and Fulfillment in My Relationships. So, this overall can be considered a very general reading, of course. In what sense? Because, well, harmony and fulfillment for each of you will look very differently, but overall, I want to capture that feeling of what you want to achieve or what you want to feel in a relationship, and therefore, these cards will be showcasing how you can go about getting that. Getting those relationships that you desire, getting those feelings or partner attitudes, or I don't know. Overall, this will be about relationship. Doesn't matter if it's romantic or not. Fulfillment and joy and balance, I guess, is really something that we want in all types of relationships. Therefore, I'll see if I should address this reading in a romance type style, But overall, just I guess relax. This reading will show you some information that you need to know in order for you to find the elements that I have mentioned here in the reading and will be as well in the title of it. So without too much talking, let's jump right into the reading. As you can see, I have 4 piles. Again, I diversified. So first pile has this turtle. I guess it's a necklace. The second one is like these yellow roses necklace. Third one is this blue stone necklace as well. And the last one, I don't know what this is, but I guess it was brooch. How do you call it? Yeah, it's violet, and it will belong to the 4th pile. So take your time, make sure to check out the description for the timestamps of each pile. If it's not uploaded, then I guess I haven't managed to do so yet, but I'll make sure to upload it just after uploading the video. And let's start off with the first pile. Hello, first pile, the ones of you who've chosen this turtle necklace. This reading is basically for you. Let me place it so that you can see it as well. So how can you go about finding fulfillment and joy? Was it the word? Fulfillment and happiness in your relationships. You've got uplift in reverse. You've got 5 of swords in reverse as well. You've got the 4 of challenges, seeker of spells, and the oldest one. Okay, so first of all, I want to say this first pile has had a rough time, I can say. You are carrying some sort of baggage from the past, especially with the uplift card, and you can have like rumination, or you could be having like fears of encountering the same type of problems from the past relationships in the present ones. There is much fear here of not wanting to step on the same, like not wanting to step in the same mistakes, or basically to make the same mistakes. I guess here the first pile has to be a very experienced person for me to see those energies in the first place. Most likely I see you more of a loner person. The experience comes here with the oldest one, I'm sorry. It seems like you're a bit done with relationships. I mean, there is like reluctance here with stepping into new relationships, and like, I don't know if I'll repeat myself, but you are carrying some sort of baggage from the past into the present moment, and it's affecting the quality of your relationships in general. Seeker of Spells, to me, it associates with the Queen of Wands in reverse, and you've been mistreated with that card showing up here in reverse, and most likely you've lost hope that you'll find your needs met in relationships. That is more like a situation that shows me that you're wanting a relationship that's stable, or wanting relationships to be harmonious and fulfilling, but because of the past that you have encountered, there is like an interference here, and you're not very optimistic about discovering those qualities of, you know, hope, faith that the relationship will go on. Like, you're very, it could be that you're very pragmatic about even like the situation of relationships, and very guarded and careful with your resources when it comes to who will be that person to whom you'll be giving your energy, basically your resources. Most likely, as I said, you are more of a loner person. And so let's see what you can do specifically in order for you to find harmony and balance here. Child of Visions. So first of all, I want to say you have to invest in or it's not more of an investment, it's more of an intention to rediscover your inner child. For some of you, if you are not resonating with a specific idea, then that means introducing freshness into your life. What does that mean? Freshness means new beginnings, new ideas, a sense of spontaneity, and as an action, because this reading is more action driven, it means beginning new pursuits, let's say, new spontaneous ideas that would somehow bring a new fresh chapter or a new fresh start into your life. It seems as though this pile is very serious, or is very, like, you might be that old soul in this specific reading, but somehow your inner child or your youthfulness, and I'm not referring to the age, is somehow forgotten or overlooked. There is strongly here an element of no longer not wanting, but being able to experience sincere and no childlike joy with the first pile. Somehow it feels as though you have installed some sort of guards to your heart, to your life, and that is preventing you from cultivating relationships in general that are, you know, more than just what you meet usually, because it feels as though your relationships, if not, it doesn't mean that's all of them, but some of them might be like very either dry or not very interesting to even like engage in, or something like this. It could be very guarded, you know. There is a potential here of relationships in general to be fulfilling and joyful, as I said, but in order for that to happen, you have to rediscover your inner child, you have to rediscover your passions, you have to learn to live like again, you have to learn to be like a child, you know? It feels as though no matter what's your age, and I believe this message is beyond your age, it tells me that you should be cultivating a joy for living, a joy that would be specific for children, you know? And there has to be like lots of barriers that you've put up, lots of them have to be sorted out, worked through, you know? You have to feel safe enough to basically open up to people, you know? So you see, this pile, I feel as though, and pick it if it resonates, but is very cautious, is very closed off because of your experience, because of your knowledge of what was there previously, of what has happened with you maybe, or from the stories of other people. You are very, on one hand, very skilled at finding what can potentially go wrong, but at the same time this leads to you not wanting to dabble into like close bonds and just wanting to like be a watcher, you know, be a person who's observing, who's capable of just seeing what's happening and not fully participating in a relationship that would imply you being vulnerable, being active, being open. Like you could be having trust issues. You could be a person who's very, you know, like a watcher, as I said, someone who sees things through in a very deep manner, and an observer as such, the one I have given you like a description, is someone who most likely is not very participative in life per general because they are too busy observing and assessing the situation. So that most likely means, as a general assessment of your situation in regards to these questions, that you're not wanting to play the game because you're afraid of losing. Like in this case, you're not wanting to enter a relationship or relationships in general because they feel threatening, they feel unstable, unsafe maybe, or unpredictable, and you like to have the remote in your hands, you like to feel control or a sense of overall peace and yeah, it's control. I feel as though this pile is reluctant to feel out of control in relationships, and they do not have faith that they are going to be either safe or that their needs will be met. King of Swords, someone who's very calculated, someone who's very thinking, like in their mind. You could be spending lots of time and energy on planning out stuff before you even step into them, and you could be like, you're thinking much, sometimes even too much, in some situations, and that makes you not take the necessary action. So that means you could be so contemplative in your case that you're not even like taking action or steps in order for you to achieve or to seek out the relationships or the adjustments that would make your relationship fulfilling and happy. So, Seeker of Visions. So it's interesting enough because this reading is definitely for someone who's on the exterior side very guarded, yet in your innermost feelings, thoughts, and the core of your being, you're very willing and wanting to dedicate yourselves to someone who can reciprocate that same level of commitment and sincerity, let's say, honesty, even innocence. But you are alone in that yet. And you have assumed this stance of a loner wolf, maybe, that's yet testing people, yet testing people's intentions. And you may be one that's very like old. You might be young, but your insights, your knowledge could be well beyond your years. But in the inside, in your innermost, it's like it's your secret that you're actually very open-hearted, and it's all a past, it's all a pessimism that was, sheltered in your being because of your past, because of your, it's not mistakes, it's more of unfortunate experiences that have led to a development of a personality that's not welcoming to people, that is very reluctant to letting people in. So I guess this will be the answer for the grand question of this reading, the Eight of Spells. You have to find the people that are from your guild, basically. So if you are engaging in some sort of practices, hobbies, or general activities that are shared by some individuals that should be considering to be your colleagues or your even brothers and sisters, because this card signifies to me a tribe of like-minded people, because as you can see, the owls here are, despite their color difference, they are very much alike, and they are the same species basically. I see you finding harmony and fulfillment in a tribe type of setting. I see you finding that in a situation in which you share the same values, you share the same directions or practices with the people that surround you. So that means if you want to find what I have told in the beginning of the reading, then you have to find what you're really good at, what you really enjoy doing and you're passionate about, that aligns with your values, that aligns with your purpose. And the last step in this process is for you to find these like-minded people, the people who will share the same passion, the same level of joy, and the same values, the same directions. And the moment in which you'll find that, you'll drop off this identity of you being reluctant to be open or to be wanting to share yourselves with the world, with the people that surround you. So that harmony and joy that I have described is able to be opened up successfully in a tribe type of setting. That means you should be finding your community, you should be finding your fan base. And that doesn't mean you are the person that's in front of them or something like this, though it could be also as well something that you might find yourselves. I'm just meaning that you have to find the people that are sharing the same types of ideas that you do. So you are most likely surrounded right now by some relationships and some people that not only are not in alignment with your own directions and values and beliefs, it could be that they are even opposing them. So that means you should be feeling, or you could be feeling, like you are being circled out, and that you are like an alien amongst people, and that you're so different that that it's basically impossible for others to understand you. This could be very restricting, as I see here in the card. It seems like you are living in a different world. It feels as though you're completely out of this world. Either it is that you're sharing some traits or interests that are not generally acknowledged, that are not generally seen or recognized. It feels to me like you're living a life of secret, a life of hiding, or someone who's really unable to share their full self, their authentic self with the world. It feels as though your community is not very cohesive with the version of you that is truly going to make you happy. Like, to me, it's like an image of someone who's living among people that are like not like you, in the sense that they're, as I said, like completely opposite. It could be, for example, that you're an artist that's living amongst people who have no idea what art is. Or you could be one who's living in a religious circle, for example, that shares an interest for mysticism, and that is being scorned and judged. And therefore, you have to be living that path alone and in secret. It feels as though you still do have some relationships or some friends that can join you on this quest of achieving, joy and understanding, but they are still a few. You are yet to discover more. You are yet invited to broaden the line of your friends, and for them not to be the exclusive circle of 3 people, for example. And you'll have that. So keep in mind the thing that I have told you, that you have to find like-minded people. And I feel as though this reading will be about someone who's basically not being surrounded by the right ones. But you do have a very strong potential to basically achieve this sense of belonging, safety, understanding, and even you'll find the people who will cherish your being, your authentic being. So that was your reading. If you enjoyed the message, then make sure to like and comment below whether it resonated or not. If you are subscribed, then I would like to thank you so much for supporting me, and know that I read every comment, and that I am truly happy to see that my readings have helped people. So if you're not subscribed, however, consider to do so, because I have lots of stuff awaiting, and I'm sure I will surprise you sooner or later in my readings. So that was your first pile. Thank you so much for watching, and don't give up, because your goal is pretty much achievable, and to be honest, it may be out of reach right now, but it's something that you're meant to experience. Hello, second pile. Welcome to the reading. Yours is linked to this beautiful rose, yellow rose pendant. So let's see how you can go about achieving fulfillment and harmony in your relationships. Non-attachment, Three of Pentacles, the Fairy Wind, Ace of Visions, Five of Boons. So this pile has the non-attachment card. That means right now may not be the time for this request to come true specifically in this time period. It is a time for you to be focused somewhere else, and most likely this period of your life is being focused on setting foundations. Three of Pentacles means you could be focused on work, or that your efforts right now should be going in work. You have a very strong, let's say, vision, or you have a very clear imagination or goal when it comes to relationships, and that you're pretty determined to follow it no matter what people are saying, or no matter how unrealistic in people's words your idea is. So the non-attachment card can as well speak to me that you are not wanting to be tied to people, or that it could be the case as well that you're unwilling to be hurt by stepping too close in a relationship. Your interactions could be light, could be superficial sometimes, could be interest oriented, could be goal oriented, and people can find you, interact with them when they are needed for a specific goal with the Three of Pentacles. There is an individual here, a person who's watching, who has lots of desires, lots of goals and expectations that are to be fulfilled in a romantic setting. Yet, no matter how many and how many times you have tried, this idea still remains and dwells into your mind, into your mind's eye. And the reality seems to be reflecting the utter opposite of what you want to achieve. And it feels as though your vision, with the reality's circumstances, is more out of reach than it being close to manifesting. To me, this pile has a person that has a huge potential and a great capacity to envision things that they want. Yet it feels as though the reality is not very cooperative with the vision that you have in your mind, and the more you advance in your life, the more somehow you're being shown the opposite, and the more that opposite is urging you to manifest more, to want to see more, to want to see what else you don't want, in order for you to desire what's possible. I see someone here who's gathering insights from negative experiences, so much so that you're literally transforming those experiences in a future projected desire. And this is somehow secret. This is somehow not seen or not apparent. But you're on this quest for some reason right now alone. It is like a dream. It's like a wish that's not wanting to be real for some reason. It feels as though the reality is much more cruel, is much more cruel, I guess. To be honest, with the Three of Pentacles, the world seems like a trading post, to be honest. The world seems like a place of heartless, emotionless, and mindless interaction that can sometimes be perceived like a craze, like a crazy, out of reach system that's not really cohesive with what's normal, you know? There is someone here who has a huge barrier, a huge difference of what's inside of them and of what's the reality showing. And sadly enough, this vision is the only place that it dwells right now is within you. Like the fire of it, it's inside of you. But you're like an emissary. You're someone who trails that change, that warmth, that desire to shift things. You're tracing it, you're making a trail in the world by desiring these. And somehow the chase, in this case, is really the bigger prize, it's really the adventure that's capturing so much attention, that's capturing so much intrigue. It's as though this spiky road of pain and of desire is somehow of greater importance than even the achievement of harmony and grace in your relationships. Somehow the chase and the process of you expanding to what's possible is much more intriguing, much more worth the ticket, you know, worth the ride than even the goal itself. So this journey of yours that I have described, in which you gather what you want and what you desire from your negative experiences is really a formative thing. It's really something that's tinkering and expanding the boundaries of what's possible for you. It's not a coincidence that this reading has fallen into the hands of someone who's to be addressed as a warrior in their life, because, as I said, your fulfillment is in the acknowledgement of the journey. It's in the acknowledgement of the fact that you are extending the limits of what's possible by the sheer fact that you're chasing, that you are seeking, that you are not in the end goal of fulfillment, that you're not given what you want, because that would stop all the progress, all the progression from following through. I would consider that if you were to be given all that you desire right now, that you'll find boredom in it, or that you could be at some point exceeding and using it all up, like the joy of your desires. And the moment in which you desire more, your journey continues, your expansion continues, and therefore you are no longer in the same place. So that challenge of yours is something that is pushing you to evolve, to literally see what else can you desire. To give you an encouragement, to give you a brightening message here, I want to tell you that this will end, this chase will most likely continue on, but end metaphorically with a culmination. This culmination being the Ace of Boons, here showing ring. That means at the end of your struggles, and that doesn't mean it has to follow up with lots of time. At the end of your struggles, you will have achieved what you desired. These expectations that I have described in the Ace of Visions is going to be materialized. But for you to achieve that, you'll have to go through lots of experiences that show you what love is not. You are in a phase in which you are gathering and absorbing all of the resources, things, information, and energies that you can and that are of benefit for you to build a future that is more in alignment with your desires that you have set forth because of your discomfort. You are most likely in a formative stage, a stage in which you are yet testing the ground and you're not ready to take on the last boss and the greatest treasure that's awaiting with this last boss, speaking in gaming terms. You're so focused on your goal that you overlook your journey that has led you organically to becoming who you are and to becoming what you desire and what you seek further. you're so busy with your work, with your vision of this desire, that you are not even aware of the little things that keep you going. You are yet to realize that the journey is as equally important as the final destination. It's as though you're not even living your life right now. You're projecting yourselves into the future of what's happening, what can happen, and what will potentially happen. It's as though you're preparing for a life that's not yet there. It's like you saving up the energy, it's like you saving your resources and you being unwilling to be participative to a full extent in your life because you are invested in what you desire in the future. So it's, to me, like saving money all of your life and struggling with living for you to basically spend it all in a short period of time or something like this. It's like struggling to such an extent that you are sacrificing the present moment for the sake of a future that's not even here yet. It's compromising your present for a future that's potentially there. And this can be a source of suffering. Second pile. This can have consequences on your present moment. This can have can make you live the illusion that you're not yet there, that you should be waiting even more, that you're basically, that you should be sacrificing more energy and resource towards the future, and you're missing the moment, you're missing the roses that are blossoming like right now. And when you will achieve that vision of yours, you'll look back in time and you'll be hit with lots of nostalgia and sadness that this has passed, and it has passed so quickly that you haven't even managed to be grateful for it, It's a life of shelter, it's a life of loneliness and a life of avoiding fears. By the Hermit card, I can say, as well as this High Priestess, it's like a life that's sometimes labeled as not in alignment with your intuition or not in alignment with the present moment, as I said. You have to learn to live and be happy as a child, and to abandon the idea of the future, of tomorrow, of what's possible out there. And you have to rediscover what's like to live as if you were born yesterday, basically. There is too much thinking and little living in this second pile. you have to readjust, because if you don't do so, this process of going through your experiences will be unbearable. It's unbearable to live a life in which you set forth tomorrow that you're looking forward to living it, but not because you live it authentically in the present moment, this happiness, but because you want to wait it all out. You have to feel as though you want to hurry, you want to accelerate time. It's like an impatience here, and it's tiring. It's tiring to not live right now, and it's tiring to be in the future so much. So this pile is very focused on what can come and what can I do right now so that my future can be changed. So that was your reading. That was a strong message for you to focus on the journey and not to be so much in the projection of your future, of what's potentially going to happen, and that you are not addressing the present moment, basically. I probably repeated that too many times, but that was an overall message for someone here that has huge dreams, but has to learn as well to live the beauty of the moment, basically. So that was your reading. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, comment below how it resonated, and if it did and you found clarity or an answer to your question. If you're not subscribed, please do so, because I have much more in the future that's similar to this, and if you enjoyed it, chances are you'll enjoy what I post as well. So take care of yourselves. Hello, third pile, the ones of you who've chosen this blue pendant. How you can find harmony and fulfillment in your relationships. Surrender in reverse. King of Wands in reverse. Keeper of Visions. Suspension. And Six of Visions. You have issues with control. You feel as though if you release control, you will not be able to prevent or have faith in what can come, basically. Surrender in reverse means that you're not able to see that you're not alone. That actually your desires and your directions are being shared with many people that you simply overlook. You like to be considered different, yet this difference and special feeling that you bear with you makes you separate, makes you so unique that you are alone. Surrender means to me that you have to understand that yet you are unique and that you are different. You still share something that makes you interconnected with everything, and that you singling yourselves out like this will not lead to you finding fulfillment and understanding and belonging, because that is something that is provoking and cultivating separation, and an idea that you can survive and function independently in a setup that requires you to be connected to the overall piece of the greater picture. The King of Wands in reverse shows me that you are really proud or like to indulge in the idea that you have lots of domains in which you see yourselves in control and rightfully in your place. And while it is true to some degree that you deserve and that you are entitled to have these, for your fullest joy, to be shown, or for it to really come into fruition or to blossom, you have to release this strong hold over the circumstances or over your perception of how things should go and how things should function. Your lack of fulfillment and happiness in relationships comes to your sheer desire to basically not be out of control. So that's definitely with a surrender. It's like a warrior who's not sure if he's going to win or lose, but is yet holding firm no matter what. And that is something that is basically preventing you from feeling like you are with everyone else in the same boat. It's as well interesting that you have a huge capacity, a very great capacity to feel connected, and that you can be considered someone who's pretty much gifted in that direction, but this identity is somehow restricting that connectedness with everything, and it's restricting it to such a degree that's making you feel lonely, that's making you feel making you feel suffering really with this suspension card. And Keeper of Visions, especially it being an element of water, I can say, is inviting you to be in touch with your emotions and to be letting your emotions flow. Is to really not impose expectations and control over lots of domains of your life that do not require such vigilant approach as you have. Most likely this control that I'm talking about is being enforced by some sort of patterns or situations from the past, and I believe it's not really your fault for having such an attitude, though it's not something to be ashamed of, and it's not something that is being judged here. It's more of something that's preventing you from feeling quality of joy that's like beyond the material world, that's beyond the material realm, or that is really beyond the illusion of what you achieve by controlling stuff. While you may have some sort of ideas, tactics, and really a plan that's working, you must have some sort of tactic that's really helping you survive, but that's not helping you feel better, you know. It feels to me like a situation in which someone is trying to survive by controlling, and to some degree they do have some sort of decent level of responsibility over their life because of that control. But in the long term, this approach has to be changed. It cannot be entertained while making the person that's enforcing it any more happy, any happier than they were amidst this process of trying to restrict and hold everything that's happening in their life. For you specifically, the fulfillment that you seek, this pile, is related to you finding what drives you, what can make you open up emotionally, that will open up your heart, and that will make you want to socialize more for the sake of the interaction and not because you want to achieve something out of it. So you have to be willing to find a way to set an intention, or to set your intent for you to discover what it's like to live a life that's out of control, restriction, and bounds of either your expectations or your fears. You have to find what makes your heart sing, basically. And that thing that will make your heart sing will not apparently give you a material gain or a material fulfillment, yes, yet it will make you really enjoy living the moment without you feeling the need to restrict or control anything. So that is more of an energy that's describing you entering the flow state. That means it's doing something that makes you forget about time, space, and it makes you forget about the existence of time in general. So long as you live the present moment and it makes you feel really good, you know? It's as if you have to engage in some sort of activity that will make you feel fulfilled, no matter what is the gain that you achieve by doing it. So that to me sounds like a hobby or an activity that's more related to the artistic spectrum, but it doesn't have to be. This could be something like a meditation. This could be as well as being in nature, or just being present with yourselves, or just as simple as listening to some music that you enjoy. You have to relearn that you can live your life without control, and it being the most fortunate decision that you have ever made, and that you can actually live on with wealth, with joy, and with a sense of security without restricting and controlling everything in your life. You have to have faith. You have to cultivate a relationship with the way you direct yourselves in life. And you have to reestablish a connection with what is really making you passionate and what is making you want to live further just for the sake of the moment. And if you achieve that, then the relationship domain of your life will be unlocked shortly. Because the moment you find fulfillment in what you do, people will feel drawn to participate in the same level of happiness and fulfillment that you radiate. That means if you are not content with yourselves alone, with what you do on your own, then there is no way people can find themselves with you and be authentically happy. It feels as though if you will enter a relationship with what is present right now, it could be the case of someone who's either having high expectations in general, and it's maybe suffocating either the partner or you in general, because you might have that judgmental stance, and that you will actually discover that when you achieve your dream activity, career, or hobby, then you'll feel like giving it to the world, and that in turn will make the people feel really drawn to you because you offer something of huge value that cannot be overlooked, that cannot be ignored. You will have people that will feel magnetically pulled towards you the moment you have that insight and that breakthrough that you can actually live beyond restriction, beyond time, beyond strict control. So I see someone here who's very skilled and passionate about what they do, and they are so passionate about it that the next step in the game requires for them to share it with the world. The world will be your spotlight. And you'll find above all else that you can be happy on your own, and with that happiness, a relationship will be like a bonus. Your happiness will not depend on a relationship being there or not. That's something that's huge here in the reading. Whether you have found this or not, this is definitely laying on your road. Something that's really tangible to your road of discovery, basically. Most likely you haven't yet found it, but be sure you will be guided towards it, and it will be something that is being guided and that is not being controlled by you. It's being offered. Most likely you'll be randomly, or even not so randomly, or will be a coincidence that will feel more like a miracle, you being nudged towards going in the right direction is something that is definitely speaking here. It's like unforeseen course of events that will set you on the right path, and this will lead you to discovering your passion, basically. And that energy that goes into control and restriction will be redirected, and you'll find it to be the greatest spring of your vitality and motivation to move on. As I said, this pile definitely seems to me, it's giving me off an energy of someone like a craftsmith, or someone who's really good at a skill, so much so that they have perfected it and that they are now giving it to the world. But above all else, I see as though you are having a moment in which you discover your passion, and you find it that the greatest discovery in fulfillment of the relationships is the fact that you can be happy without one and still join one and share this joy of being alive together, yet this does not throw you off balance no matter what's happening there. You'll be your own guide in that domain, and you'll find that what's really important is for you to live in alignment with yourselves, because you have you, and this is what will make you really content with the fact that you can live the best life possible, even if it means following something with great passion, you know? To me, this third pile feels as though they will achieve a greater sense of happiness and fulfillment that is independent to the general expectation or definition of what can a relationship give, basically. It will be like an option for you, and it will not be an urge. It will be like something that you step in consciously, and that is not dictating whether you are happy or not in this life. So that was your reading. Thank you for watching. If it resonated and it helped you, make sure to leave a like and comment below your situation. And if you'd like to see more and you're not subscribed, please consider to do so, because I have more content like this that I plan on releasing in the future, and I hope that you'll enjoy the future ones as well as you do the present ones if you do so in the first place. Once again, thanks for watching and stay safe. Welcome to the reading fourth pile, the ones of you who've chosen this lovely violet brooch or ornament. How you can find fulfillment and harmony in relationships. First of all, you've got the Mini, the Hierophant, the Enchanter's Wheel, which will be the Wheel of Fortune, the Strength, and the Wide World, which is the world equivalent in the traditional tarot deck. You are the truth tellers. You are the authentic people that are willing to speak their mind no matter the consequences. You have lots of respect for that, yet you might find yourselves lonely because of that. You might be someone who's very keen and watchful over what is being told and what is being done beyond the words. And this might be the reason why you find yourselves alone, because sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. Sometimes it's really threatening for people to acknowledge the fact that they do not want to show everything that's on their mind with you, and that it's really threatening for them to have someone who is capable of reading and seeing that before even they take it out of their system or even vocalize it. The Mini is someone with this card who's willing to cut off relationships that are not true, that are not what they seem, and that are not truthful to the idea that people set forth. So this pile is very keen to cultivate authenticity and sincerity and honesty and transparency in relationships. If that's not present, then I guess this is not for you. If a relationship doesn't give you clarity, if a relationship is not truthful to its format that it has shown itself or promised, then you are very quick to cut off that illusion, for it to not cloud your life, cloud your perception, cloud your clarity. This is someone who is willing to go alone, if that means being their true selves and honoring themselves so much so that they consciously want either to be respected or to be alone, as I said. No matter how seductive offer as a relationship might be, if it lacks authenticity, then you're out. And rightfully so, this sparks lots of admiration and respect amongst the people that manage to intertwine and appear into your life. You are being regarded with great respect because of that quality, and some even are saddened with the fact that that level of transparency makes you alone, makes you be so different that it's lonely. But you're willing to take the risk. You're willing to set foundations that are durable, that are true, and that are authentic, rather than haunt yourselves with illusions and potential changes that you cannot expect from someone who hasn't honored to tell you the truth in the first place. You know that you are well right to have faith in your ability to discern things, and that no matter how the circumstances might be, you'll be content with the fact that you have respected yourself so much that you listened and didn't let people override that sense of inner compass. And that above else, if even you have cut off people from your life, at least you can sleep tightly at night knowing that you have respected yourselves in the process. You can give yourself the validation that people usually try to seek from others. You can respect and you can congratulate yourselves even if the whole world is against you, and you can stand for your values even if the world condemns them. Because even if the majority thinks that your road is different somehow and that is not right in their idea, you know what you stand for and you are not going to give up. This reading is a confirmation that you're going in the right direction. This reading shows that no matter if you are alone or not, no matter if you're being surrounded by people and you're choosing to alienate yourselves, that you're doing so and that your intent behind it is being justified, is being acknowledged, seen, and understood as a right one. Even if it is a road that you're taking that most people don't usually take. That's what I see here with the wide world, which means the world, is you do not need anything of a validation from the world, and the world, seeing that is really threatening for people. It's really either threatening for some, or it sparks lots of respect. That's definitely with a strength card. It's being recognized as a strength. It's being recognized as something that's rare to see on the horizon. No? The Hierophant is someone who's wise, who has discernment, as I said. And as I said, this reading is a confirmation that you're going on the right path, and that you being steady and persistent in your intent will make you prevail, and will make all of the people that were telling you that you're wrong, will make them all acknowledge the fact that you are on the right path. But this is something, however, that you do not need. It's something as though I'm not surprising you with that message. It's something that you know already. So the wheels are already set in motion. You're already on your path to achieving what you desire. That fulfillment that I am talking about is already in its making. But the road to it might seem as though it's endless. It's not. It's something that will happen with the Ace of Visions, and it will take you by surprise. Trust me. Ace of Visions is a card of realization, is a card of you being surprised that your desires that were envisioned in your mind's eye were capable of manifesting. It's a huge confirmation of the fact that the way you have carried yourself so far will have consequences, and if they were transparent, if they were authentic, they will lead to the same outcome. You will realize that you were never needing to replicate and to perpetuate the same approach that has been done by people in general. I'm referring to trickery, I'm referring to finding the easy way, I'm referring to being superficial and seeking the answers in a way that justifies the means to an end. You will be living the example of someone who's capable of following their North Star, no matter what people are telling you. And the culmination of this story will be the answer that will basically counteract all the opinions and views that were concerned whether you are going to be happy with these or not. It's the case of someone who's being referred to as too honest, way too honest for a world that is built on trickery and on profit. You will be living the example that it's possible to live a life that's in alignment with integrity and with morality, and that the consequences of that is way beyond worth it. You will see that there is something that can make you happy beyond manipulation. You will see that authentic happiness lies beyond any type of manipulation, and that the quality of that happiness is far superior to what people consider material gain or gain in general. Gain as personal and a life that people would consider happy, that is strictly related to the physical and material realm, which means you will find ways to be happy even if that means you having or not money at all. I'm not suggesting that you'll not be having money. I'm just saying that you'll discover a happiness that is independent to your ability to make money. That means you'll be having enough, and that you'll understand by that you can be happy no matter how much money you make. And that this way of living is the best possible thing that can actually happen. Like, this is the best achievable goal that is out there. You being independently happy of people's expectations and societal expectations of what it's like and what it means to be happy. You'll find a version of your own that will make you feel like life is worth living. And it will not be a life that's worth living just because I can buy myself everything that I desire. It's a happiness that transcends physicality. And for most of you, this will be emotional fulfillment. This will be emotional joy, like it will be felt. It will not be something that's like specifically material, though it's more of a joy that's pertaining to the spiritual side of things. Though this pile will definitely resonate with material wealth, that will be a reflection of your integrity as well. Your road is very different from what usually people perceive to be the way. Your way is specifically tailored in accordance with your own inner world, with your own specific desires and the way that you are built. You might be experiencing poverty, or you might have experienced poverty in your life, though that was a catalyst for desiring something that is greater, that is way beyond material happiness. It's either that, or that you were as well disappointed in the romantic domain, let's say. You may have opened your heart way too much for someone who wasn't deserving of that love, who wasn't open to giving it in the same quality that you gave. And that has made you a very experienced and discerning with whom you're going to be walking your way forward. I see here you being very experienced in life because of these negative experiences. I see you as having just the right observations when it comes to sorting things through. I would expect this pile to be very connected with their sense of justice, with their intuition, and with their inner guide or their inner compass. You have values and you have some sort of moral code here that's strengthening and really setting boundaries protective boundaries on the way that you step forward. This pile is very, on one hand, very spiritual, and on the other is very sincere and very respectful and precise when it comes to moral values, and sticking up to these, and doing so not because you're fearful and that you're not afraid of being punished or something like this, but because this is the right way of living, because the other ways are not contributing to a level of happiness that you achieve by following through with these, and that living in accordance with your conscience is something that is not impossible. It's something that is very much achievable and worth it. You are yet to discover so much. You are yet to discover like-minded people. You are yet to discover and experience the consequence of you valuing and prioritizing your morality. This will all turn in your favor, yet for this to happen, you'll have to go through this phase of transformation, this phase in which you still exit and live through the stuff that was disappointing. It's like the middle way. It's like the way in time, or the point in time in which the suffering has ended, has happened for the reason of acknowledgement and awareness, and now you being able to reconstruct your life in the direction that you desire with the newfound insights that will guide you to an understanding of happiness that's really soul related, and that is really beyond material. It's beyond materialism, and it's really possible, and it's not a fairy tale. It's not something that's being depicted as dreamy or in the clouds. It's very much tangible. Just because it's rare, it's something that is usually not recognized, but it's definitely possible, and you'll be joined. You'll most likely be joined by other people, if not specifically 2 of them. This could be more, but you'll be acknowledged in your path and the motivations you've had in taking that road of accountability, responsibility, and alignment with your values. You will be rewarded for that, and not because you had to, but just because this is the right way, and that because there is no other way that can make you happier other than following your own compass. So that was your reading. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming here and showing me such a beautiful exchange of energies, because after all, this reading is about people, and in the darkest times I can always know that these readings, finding these types of people, show me that I can find as well people that are in alignment with the same values that I share. So I want you to cherish the things that you decided to follow, and that your direction is priceless, no matter what price or assessment people may have over it. Make sure to like the video, comment below if it resonated, and if you're not subscribed, please consider to do so, because I release more content like this, and I hope to see you in my next videos. Stay safe, and see you soon.